Matthew 5:5 says, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." Now the definition of meek is quiet, gentle, easily imposed on, and submissive. The English word meek, though, it carries kind of a negative or weak connotation with it, and really doesn't capture the full idea of what Jesus was trying to portray in the book of Matthew. The word that we translated into English from Greek was the word preos. It was an ancient military term for war horses. The Greek army would find the wildest stallions in the mountains and bring them in. After months of training, they sorted the horses into categories. Some were discarded. Others were put into ordinary duty. Very few graduated and were put into service. When a horse passed the conditioning required for service, its state was described as preos. The word preos described a horse trained for battle. These war horses retained their fierce spirit, courage, and power, but were disciplined to respond to the slightest nudge or pressure of their rider's leg. They could gallop into battle at 35 miles an hour and come to a sliding stop at just a word. They were not frightened by arrows, spears, or torches. Then they would be considered praus, or what we would call meeked. To be meeked was to be taken from a state of wild rebellion and made completely loyal and dependent on one's master. It is also to be taken from an atmosphere of fearfulness and to be made unflinching in the presence of danger. Some war horses dove from ravines into rivers at the command of their master. They would charge straight into the face of cannon fire because they trusted him so. These stallions became submissive, but certainly not spineless. They embodied power under control, strength with forbearance. When the Apostle Paul speaks of the meekness and gentleness of Christ, he is describing this kind of obedience. Jesus did not suffer on the cross because he was a doormat. He went to pay the price that had to be paid for all of us, including you. He marched into hell and took from Satan the keys to keep us from it. We too are called to demonstrate power under control. Through the Holy Spirit, we can forgive those who hurt us. We can be the first to apologize. We can be a servant to others. We can be meek. When Jesus needed to confront sin, hypocrisy, and abuse, he did so. He drove the money changers out of the temple. He told his prideful opponents, "You belong to your father the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desire." When Pilate had told Jesus that he could have him crucified, Jesus replied that Pilate had only the authority that was given to him from above. All those things took courage under control. Jesus demonstrated the spiritual discipline to face confrontation without using his power to do it in a sinful way. Do you have confrontation looming in your future? Someone at work or school? Someone at home? Even someone at your church? Your old nature may want you to resort to spitefulness, prideful put-downs, or the cruelty of shutting that person out of your life. But God calls you to be meek, preos. He urges you to speak truth in love and leave the consequences to him. You see, we too are being trained for war, and Christ leads us forward into battle with the world, the flesh, and the devil. We go as those who charge into the face of danger, fearless and with absolute trust in our Master's orders. So let us all be meek as a war horse.